We back for another episode of Captain's Log. Um, it's not bad, man. Just other than let me show you this shit. Let me show you this. I live on the East Coast, Northeast, not too far from Jersey, not too far from Philly, not too far from New York, but nowhere near Florida. But for some reason, it's raining while the sun is out. Climate control at its finest, my friends. And the eye is always on us. And what's the other one? What's the other one? It's one more term they use. The hills have eyes. So you have to always stay focused, man. You have to always stay focused. And while the cars are driving past, you may think they're obvious cars. Nah, they're gang stalkers. What's the job of gang stalkers? It depends on what you're trying to do, but 9 times out of 10, anytime you hear like a negative voice or some bullshit, just some shit, you be like, what the fuck? Like who? Gang stalking. We're not gonna get too deep into the CERN machine, but yeah, the CERN machine. That's how these lower life forms and these demons are getting on Earth. The CERN machine, the government is pretty much has a machine where they can tap into other dimensions and other realms of existence. There's also the CERN machine. It's also confirmed that there are 9 foot tall Saturnian beings that these people have contacted. It's a fact. It's actually online. You can YouTube it. 9 foot tall Saturnian beings. It's still actually drizzling a little bit while we're out here. You see the sun is right there. The sun is right there. I don't know what the fuck's going on, but I hope somebody can give me an answer. Um right now I'm getting cryotherapy done. I'm doing the Normatec, or I'm probably saying that wrong, but I'm getting that done as well for my legs. Spine alignment. A lot of my pain comes from being around people that don't take care of their own bodies. So like, as an empath, I at the same time of taking in all the good pleasures of life, I also take on the negative parts of life, which is other people's vibrations, and it's always my job to not complain about it, but always, excuse me, not complain about it, but always be aware that these projections are real and these situations are real. And no matter how much, because Jupiter in, I have Jupiter in my first house and on my Venus, which is in Pisces right now. So like, I am a external influence of what the divine and true abundance will be, because it's in my first house and in my Venus. Venus is a planet of pleasures and how you like to get your pleasures. So your first house is how you appear to the world, the mask you wear to the world. First house is Pisces. So pretty much I look like heaven, I am heaven, and I embody heaven. I like to exist in a realm of heaven. Heaven is always relative to what you expect heaven to be, So with me, heaven will be right here. All this green, this niceness that you see, that's my heaven. I like it because it's in a world that's becoming less and less in touch with reality. The only place where you can get to truth in reality is nature. So, and that's the only way you can heal yourself naturally at 432 degrees. It's not degrees, 432 hertz, which is it's not the Earth's frequency. The Earth's frequency is 7.63, which actually I think it's the Earth resonance frequency, or maybe the heartbeat. No, it's Earth. 432 is like the perfect frequency. And music used to be made at a hertz of 432 hertz until they changed it to 440, which is detrimental to your health, which is an actual chaotic frequency. So we're listening to chaotic frequencies while at the same time being induced with mind-numbing lyrics that don't tell you to do anything but fuck people's bitches and shoot people that look like you. And if anybody does anything smart, he's a goofy. So yeah, the world we live in is pretty fucked up. And if you're actually standing on truth right now, you may be in a position that I am, which is not really a bad position because we're taking a lot of our power back. But at the same time, you gotta deal with this shadow influence of whatever this being is. It could be my shadow because I'm almost like a projection of the reality, but a lot of people haven't done the shadow work. You can go through tough times and not do the shadow work. My shadow work is breaking my ancestors, well, my bloodlines uh, their issues, or whatever it was that it has never been addressed until I started addressing it. I literally had a cousin that said to me, "Thank you for your sacrifice, Ralph. Because you, the family can heal." And me saying that is okay. Well, of course, what I look like? I look like an Indian man or a Tonchis man to the Americas, or people that migrated from Australia and came to America, all the Olmecs. I forget the rest of them, but right now just the Olmecs, which are those big African heads that you see everywhere. They expect me to not know what I know and speak what I speak on, because most people on this earth are really fucking stupid, and you only care about rap music and a whole bunch of black culture, which isn't actual black culture. Our culture is teaching, leading, and helping people evolve to their greatest selves. We've never been at a place of where we are now, but as things go, you have to hit your lowest point to hit your rise. You hit to really get to your rise. So, as autonomous people to the earth, it's our job to get back to what we used to do, and ultimately, that shit's crazy. And ultimately, just keep evolving, man, and get us to a point where we can help humanity take that next step. Because through us, it's the only way it can happen. And I'm grounding my crystals at the same time. So the longer I'm around people and I haven't grounded my crystals, all the shadows and all the things that are stored within that crystal actually start to come out. So that could be a lot of why you see me kind of moving around, just to make sure that I don't get caught up in the frequency of the things that are going on around me right now. Because no matter where you think you are in the 3D reality, you're not there in the higher dimension. So you could be in a nice ass spot, you could think you're in your house, and you could actually be in the dirtiest spot in space in reality. So it's all about staying grounded. I had a woman that I was talking to for some point in time. She said I was boring because I don't really do much, but just, you can't get mad at this shit. You gotta really just be able to control your emotions. Think logically and not emotionally. Because when you think emotionally, that's where you get caught up in certain situations that aren't going to help you evolve. Because your emotions are energy being manipulated 9 times out of 10. So you have to keep your energy and your vibration high at all times. Unfortunately, I don't have the most funding that I need. But like I said not too long ago, if everything was right within the black community, I feel like families would support each other more. And like I said, like 2017, I was saying, like, imagine you got 36 family members, right? And each family member donates you $10, $360, $20, the same thing. But my thing is, if you help each other out, we won't have to go leave our neighborhoods and go to places like this. Like me, somebody who's actually not mentally brain dead, because I eat plants and things that electrify my body to keep my brain actually on. A lot of the people that you're walking around right now are clinically dead, clinically brain dead. With the diet and the things that we are indoctrinated into, a lot of these people that are walking these streets that look like they're alive, they're brain dead. And that's where this game or this Masonic thing is going on from. It's going on from people that are really dead and they're leading the world. Like, if you see me, you see my influences everywhere, because I'm not allowing people to play with my mind anymore. I'm more aware of. It took me 26 years to learn how humans think. Like, just like with Mike Tyson, who I'll always reference, he wasn't born a bully, he was born a nice guy. Everybody's born fucking nice. Like, there's no place for hate in the world where hate is not normal. It's not the body's natural frequency is hate. The body, the mind, the human spirit is taught hate. You're never taught. You're taught to love. You're made in an act of love, which is sex, which is usually made or usually used supposed to be only used for reproduction, not how we're using it today. And it's just like, and that's why sex has become so much of a lower vibrational state that it's in right now. And it's just like people are just bumping bodies, and like a lot of women, because they have so many different men phalluses placed inside of them, they don't know the difference between love and just like bumping bodies. Like with me, I'm gonna be honest. Like when I'm doing my thing, if I'm really in tune with you, we can tap into a whole nother reality, a whole nother dimension. We'll have sex for like maybe like 10 to 5 minutes, and it'll feel like an hour, because we're creating a whole different portal and reality, you know. So it's all about what other spaceships you can use to ascend ascend higher. You know, this is a Kundalini experience. You want to raise your Kundalini to a point where you're out of suffering, out of all the lower vibrational things. You can climb into heaven. You climb Jacob's ladder to get to heaven. 33 vertebrae, that's what all that Masonic shit is about. Climbing the 33 vertebrae to reach the Christ consciousness state. I have hoodies right now that says on the back of it, Christ consciousness. Anything that I do, it's not about Christ, because Christ is just a man, but the consciousness is what we're trying to experience. We're not trying to experience the 3D form of Christ. What we're trying to ascend to is Christ consciousness, to pretty much live in a whole different vibration of the experience that's happening down here, you know. So we gotta really understand that we're being cheated out of an experience. And a lot of people that keep talking about Lil Nas X, you're not even supposed to talk about him, because when you talk about him, you give his ritual and his things he's doing power. With me, everybody talks about me saying, oh, he's a celebrity. Nigga, I don't even fucking like people. Being a celebrity, I was never wanting to be a celebrity. I never wanted to be anything. Gang stalking chose me. These people have been watching me since I was a kid. And like, it's because I remember when I was in 6th grade, I used to astral project all the time unknowingly. Like, I used to just imagine somebody. I used to get into like the Tony Hawk games and shit like that. I would just always be on bridges or certain streets. I would just imagine myself like grinding on a, because we're on a higher vibration, we're not going to tap into all that with the pause and all that. But I imagine myself just like skateboarding in different spots astrally, and I would really create that body. So they knew that I was already tapping into like a higher vibration since a child. And that's why a lot of people a lot of autonomous people to the earth, we have problems with the reality and coping. I just seen a red cardinal. That means I'm protected and connected by one of my male ancestors, but or family members. But yeah, fuck it, just slipped my mind. Yeah, that's why a lot of us are given Ritalin and things like that, because it's not natural to be in a building for that long. Like, that's the difference between us and Caucasians. Caucasians, they lived in caves. We put them in caves, so that's their shit. But for us, we're a community-based people. But because we're so far knocked off of our pinnacle of where we were, I don't even want to be around anybody until anybody like levels themselves up. And a lot of people are like playing this game for money. I'm not playing the game for money. I'm playing this game to do what I got to do and just constantly evolve and get better. And that's why, like, any time in life, it's not about the sprint. It's about the entire race. And like for me, one of the things that I'm understanding is a lot of people are playing for the short race. A lot of people want the money and all the lower vibrational shit. It's like you have to climb the ladder. You have to keep ascending this ladder. You know, not even like a social ladder, but the ladder, which is your spine. You have to climb Jacob's ladder so you can get to a place of ascension, and you're not down here. Because like a little theory I have, every 7 years, the aliens that are watching us, or the higher vibrational beings that aren't in physical bodies, they take you up after every 7 years. That's why Nipsey died at 33. I just watched a movie that was on Prime Videos. I could tell you about it later on, but this girl kept saying like every 7 years, these aliens or these terrestrials like pretty much came down and they pretty much took her, or they were going to abduct her or try to abduct her. And like pretty much after some time, they actually abducted her. And well, no, the guy saved her, but that's the theory of the movie. But ultimately, the entire point of what I'm saying is every 7 years, these I mean, you can't call them demonic, but these beings come down and they watch everything that we're doing. I just wanted to get a little bit more grounded, so I just wanted to touch a tree. Earthing properties, grounding properties, because like I said, anytime I'm talking, I'm not actually standing still. I'm always, energy never rests. Energy is always constantly moving, and with my vessel the way that it is, I have to always remember to stay grounded and stay rooted, because at any moment the things that I can't see can always happen to me and occur. And right now we're in a spot where it's a lot of glamour. Glamour is just something where it's just like a space, a space that you create either knowingly or unknowingly. And that's why it's important right now to do a lot of vision boards, because you're manifesting your glamour. Other people can tap into your glamour and pretty much change your reality or change what your projection is. So like for me, I try to constantly, and that's why you're seeing the gang stalkers. They're here unintentionally starting to project upon me. So whoever's watching me, there's this feminine, this divine feminine, or who attempts to be a divine, this soulmate I'm having is pretty much watching me. And she's watching me so intensely to the point where it's almost like an obsession. But it's just like, I don't understand why people obsess. But then again, the scorpionic energy is very obsessive and it's very intense. It's intense emotion and intense just intensity of everything. But I don't know. This captain's log was kind of just like, shout out to my man Mingo. Hopefully we link up tomorrow. We get something going. Many inside need God only. Very tough, very creative. Ultimately, man, this process is getting to a critical point, to the point where it's just like, those who want to ascend will, those who want to stay down here will, you know. And we have to understand it's not our jobs to save our family members. And that's why a lot of you have your family members like next thing. Telepathy is so common that it's almost like a handshake. And a lot of people aren't in control of their vessels, so we have to understand that, like, a lot of the things that people say is not really coming from them, but coming from the entity that controls them. And like with me, I have a very trickster spirit that I'm really realizing that's always been there, but I'm dealing with it. Because like for a lot of people who are higher in the astrology signs, like Scorpio, who is ruled by Pluto, Capricorn, Saturn, Sagittarius, Jupiter, Aqua, you know, you get what I'm saying, Uranus and Neptune. These planets are further from the sun, meaning that we're alien. We're not getting vibrations from the sun like everybody else. Our information is coming from higher sources. And that's where we need to understand that, like, it's our job to help humanity, because if we don't help them on the things that's going on right now, we're going to go into very low vibrations. And I'm not really trying to go into these vibrations. I'm trying to experience something higher. So when everybody talk about me living in fantasy worlds, because I have to, I can't. When you're creating something from the future, you can't live in the present. But that's why I'm always in nature trying to reconnect to what's going on right now. Because I have everything to enhance my spirit and my vessel. I got crystals. My diet's alkaline for the most point. Just the things that I try to stick into are very highly vibrational. So it's like, it's one of those things where you have to constantly work towards. There we go. This is a better spot. I feel good here. I feel really good here. All right, cool. I can see what's going on in front of me. But keep breathing that shit through. But yeah, and it just the entire story is about just pretty much you aligning with your higher self again. You know, you tapping into the parts of yourself that belong to solely you, and not listening to anybody else. Trusting your inner self, going in nature, and doing things that correspond with what your soul wants. And like, a lot of people's souls are doing things that they've never done before, because a lot of people have incarnated so many times that they're looking for things that are native to them, things that are home to them. Give me 1 second. All right, we're back. I had to change locations. I just felt like it was too many projections coming from over there, and I feel like this is a path that's less walked, so I feel like I needed to come this way. But like I was saying, just do things that fit your spirit, man. My spirit is always in nature. Everybody knows my affinity for Black Panthers. And just dealing with reality, man. Just dealing with reality at a higher placement and higher point than other people. Because a lot of people are getting transmissions and getting information from me, but they don't understand that it's not me that they're conversing with. You're conversing with all the entities that are around me. I mean, you got people from different secret societies that want me to join. You got people from my past that are still like latched on to me. And you got this fake spirituality thing, which is actually like some Masonic bullshit that's being cloaked all over the place with just lies, and more lies. So it's just like, what do you do? Do you listen to the Masonic game of the bullshit? This clone talk is what I call it. Or do you stand upon yourself and be your greatest self? Because a lot of people are with that clone shit. And when I say that clone shit, I don't mean like the actual clone shit. I mean the whole group think, one entity, one way shit. And it's just like, bruh, like, we were put down here to be our greatest selves and not tap into all the bullshit that's going on around us. We're put here to be ourselves, you know? And everybody else wants to be everybody else. So it's like, so who do you see? Other than most likely reflections of yourself. Because I don't see anybody. It's like the real Slim Shady John, the John with Eminem. That's what I see. I see a whole bunch of just clones of me. Just people, like, they don't gotta be the same color, but it's just sad because I remember a time where like individuality was a thing that was cool, you know, and just like I remember what the 90s was like, and this compared to the 90s ain't shit. And these younger kids, since they don't have like any kind of attachment to nature, they're just straight up just like being controlled by celestials or outside like planets beyond the sun, the aliens, whatever you want to call it. And that's why it's so much harder. Like, some kids, they're deep into the Masonic illusion because they never been grounded into reality. I mean, like, you can just tell, like, there's some kids who if you talk to them, they'll tell you some shit about yourself. Like, what the fuck? How the fuck you know that? That's because they're not talking to you. This is the being that's connected to them, because they don't have an identity yet. If that makes sense, they don't have an identity. And with these kids not having identities, anybody can tap into them, because once you become your own ancestor, your own person, your own individual, you start to realize when you're being affected by your reality, or not your reality, by the things that's going on around you. So that's why it's so important for you to just constantly just develop self, know thyself. So when anything happens, you're like, oh, this isn't within the nature of me. Because I feel like every second is going so fast that, like, you black out, you blink for 1 second, it feels like an hour go past. Like, it's just why, like, anytime you see me, I'm always like, well, I'm getting hit by a flashy pen non-stop, over and over and over and over and over. And that's why sometimes I forget how to use my powers. My powers are basically like telepathy. I haven't got to telekinesis yet, but I would love to get to the point of telekinesis. I used to watch the movie Chronicle a lot to just get those downloads so I can put that into my subconscious mind. And I do a lot of Piscean, Neptunian things by watching a lot of fantasy and sci-fi. So when, like, the certain things happen, I'm not even surprised. I already know how to move. The zombie invasion, it been so many zombies. Plus with the smart dust down here, the smart dust is pretty much this small grain of rice. Like, it's so small, like it's like a microchip that's so small that's in the air that every time you inhale like the chemtrails or anything in the air, you already have like a monitor and this GPS tracking device on you. So they don't have to chip us down and clone us. They already have. And that's why for the people that do detoxify themselves and things like that, they get attacked so bad because you stand out more because you detox. You get a lot of shit out your skin. And that's when it gets easier for you to be noticed because you're shining brighter. You vibrate faster. Because like I said, with so many people that's on the American diet per se, those are the ones who are actually damn near cancered and damn near like just trash bodies. So I mean, overall, you have to find ways to continuously keep cleaning yourself, taking care of yourself, and just constantly evolving. Because, like I said, no matter where you think you are 3D wise, you're probably not there in the 4th and 5th dimension. So you have to always remember that you travel by mind, not by your eyes. Your eyes cast the illusion. Your mind sees through the illusion. You know, some shit. What else? I don't know. We just vibing. But I don't know. It's kind of all I can think of right now. Shit, you know, it's the same old shit with this shit out here. So just keep doing you, man. Just don't allow the gang stalkers and yeah. Don't allow the people that the thoughts that you think are yours. Don't let them take over who you are, because there's a lot of thoughts out here. Because the telepathy is so much stronger that people are creating more and more lies upon you, and it's going to be harder for you to see through. But you have to always remember that you train for this. You incarnated just at this moment to cut the things that no longer are a part of your ascension. Because your ascension is your job. It's not your job to save anybody, to help anybody. It's not your job to take care of anybody other than yourself. So always remember that and stay true to your purpose and stay on your path.